Hello.
Hi, sir.
Hi. I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so fine. Any questions so far? The topic we have discussed. Anyone? Any question? No questions? Okay. If there is no question, so let's just start with the questions which I have posted yesterday on the group. Okay. Fine. So the first question was related to transformation. I think, yeah. Yeah, the first question was related to transformation. First option was data is pulled from multiple sources to be merged into one or more destinations. It is used to import text files for ETL processing, process to move data from a source to destination. Fourth option, it is used to massage data in transit between source and destination. So which of these four options correctly define transformation?
D. It is used to massage the data.
It is used to massage data. Okay, any other thought? Anyone? Yeah, that's correct. D is the correct option. It is used to massage data. Massage data means transform data, to apply logic on that data. Okay. In transit between source and destination. Already I have mentioned earlier that in source we are not doing any massaging. Yeah, we used to do some basic checks, duplicate checks and all those things. Okay, but those are not the hardcore transformations. Please make a note. Okay, don't get confused. I have received questions. The guys, they are telling that in source we used to apply transformation in our project. So that is not transformation. That are the basic data cleaning activity, removing duplicates, deduplication, checking functional checks and all those things are basic data cleaning activities which you perform in staging. That is not a transformation. Okay. Those are not speaking, please go on mute. Noise disturbance is coming. Okay, so those are the basic data cleaning activities. So main transformation, the business logics you are applying between source and destination. Okay, any confusion in this point? Why not third option, process to move data from source to destination? Okay, we are moving data from source to destination, but that is not the only purpose of transformation. Transformation means you are moving data and you're applying logic as well. That is, you're massaging as well. Okay, so that's why third option is not correct. Second option, it is used to import text files. Where you are importing text files? In which layer? In which layer you're importing text files?
Source.
Source, right?
Stages.
Source to staging, you are importing text files and you're unloading in the staging layer. Okay. First option, data is pulled from multiple sources to be merged. So from where your data, you are pulling the data from multiple sources. Which stage? Staging, source to stage, we are pulling data, we are extracting data, right? So that is not transformation. Hope this is clear. Any question on this, guys? Okay, if not, if you don't have any question, moving to the next question. The question is, this should be checked if column name have been included in the first row of the file. Where I have mentioned you to check that the column name is present in the file or not. Row count inspection, data inspection. Second, format of the data. Column names in the first data row checkbox. Fourth option, do most work in transformation phase. Which one should be the correct option here? Come on, guys. Which one should be the correct option? Yeah. Okay. Column names in the first data row checkbox. I have mentioned you in file level validation. You have to check the column names in the file as well, right? Sorry. You have to check the column names in the file as well. That the column names, if you have 4 columns, then all the 4 columns must be visible in the source file, right? So I think we have discussed that. First option, row count inspection, data inspection. Row count inspection and data inspection is not something you are validating the column name, right? You are checking the row count from header and trailer. Second one, format of the data. Even we are not checking the format of the data. I just want that if it is agreed with the business that they will send me 4 columns, then those 4 columns must be present in the source file. I have already discussed this. Any confusion on this? Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Guys, why I have sent this screenshots now? Because if I will frame the questions, you will think that the what I have taught, you are getting the same question. But if you are able to solve the questions which is present online on different platform, that will boost your confidence. That okay, whatever I have taught, I am able to solve the questions which are sent by third party as well. So that will boost your confidence. Okay. Now, a few of the questions scenario based, you will get these questions in the interview, scenario based. Okay. And the reason for this is the interviewer wants to check that you are not just mugged up the concepts from the Google and you are coming in the interview and vomiting all those things. That's why they will give you scenario based questions and they will check that if you know the concepts perfectly or not. Okay. So the first question is Arun has run a job in order to load data in a staging table. Arun is running a job to load data in a staging table. Now, one question: job to load data in a staging will be same with the job which you are loading, which you are using to load data in integration layer. It will be same or different?
No,
Different.
both are different.
Why both are different?
Because in integration layer we have some transformation rules are happening.
Perfect. Very good. Very good. Because from source to a stage, the logics are different. We are doing basic data cleaning activities, but between staging and integration, we have to apply transformation logic. So the logic is different. Logic will be different. Flow chart will be different. Algorithm will be different. So code will be different. So the jobs will be different. Okay. So after running the job, previous data in a staging table was deleted and new set of records were inserted. On which of the following data load methodology his project is working? I think most of you have given the correct answer. It is his project is working on which methodology?
Truncate and load.
Truncate and load. Because first of all, he has truncated what all data were present earlier in the stage table. Blindly, he will go, he will truncate and delete that. Then he will add a fresh load of data. We have discussed merits and demerits, both of this. So you should know all these things, guys. These are the questions you will be asked in the interview. So just what all questions I'm telling you, please make a note. Okay, these are very, very important questions. Fourth question, Sheila has observed that after loading data in stage, source file was still present at the same location. Okay, before loading data in stage, what all validations you have to do? Guys, I need quick response that will save time. Before loading data in stage, what all validations you are doing? Just tell me few sample validations.
So basic
How
level
many
validation.
count of
File
source
format.
file format.
Correct. You can tell that,
Count row count.
you can tell to interviewer that first of all, I will check the files which I have received. The count of file is same or not, format is same or not, header and trailer is same or not, count is same. That is more than enough. You don't have to tell all these points which I have mentioned here. But if they are asking any points from this, that okay, tell me what is full load validation, then you can explain them. Okay, and try to explain in brief. Tell them so that they should realize that okay, he has worked on this and that's why he is telling from that. Because sometime no, so they the candidates, they will give the ready-made definition from the Google, they will write somewhere, so the interviewer will understand that he has not worked on the project and just he is giving the definition. So you should tell in brief, in detail. Okay, not in brief. Fine. Sheila has observed that after loading data in stage, source file was still present at the same location. This is a very good question. Okay, same location. She should raise a defect or not? So the first option, yes, she should raise a defect as others might use that file. This is not a correct option because she should raise a defect, that is correct, but the intention is not correct here. She is bothering that others will see the file. No. Why? Because to that particular location where you have received the file from the source team, no other or no unintended recipients will be having access. Only intended users will be having access. You don't have to bother that others will be getting sorry, others will see that file or not. So that should not be the intention. Okay, hope that is clear. So next, second option, no need to raise a defect because data has been loaded successfully in a staging table. Okay, so data has been loaded in a staging table, so our requirement has been met. But the problem is, if the same file is still present there, so there will be an issue of duplicate record on the next day run, right? Third option, yes, she should raise a defect because that file is using disk space. This is also not correct. She should raise a defect, that is correct, but intention is not correct. She should not bother about disk space. Okay. Fourth option is the correct one. She should raise a defect as this will cause duplicate data in staging on next day job run. I think this question is clear to everyone. Anyone who is having any doubt, please tell me. No. Next question, Mohan. Yeah, any question, guys? No. Mohan has suggested his development team to exclude a staging layer in his project as this is an overburden. You see, from this question, you should understand that if you're working in a project, those who are working in a project, in live project, so always you should give some suggestions. Okay, whenever you have a meeting with your project manager, team lead, or business analyst, no, so give some suggestions. Why I'm telling this? That will make a very positive impact. The managers, they will start thinking that okay, this guy is having some extra knowledge as well. He is contributing to the team not only in the BAU activities, but he's suggesting some good ideas. Okay, so if you are thinking out of box, so this will help you to suggest, and that will help your career growth. Okay, in your organization. Fine. So always try to give some suggestions in the projects. That should be useful. Okay, you should think over that and give some good suggestions. So similarly, Mohan has suggested in his development team to excluding a stage layer in his project, and this is an overburden. Mohan has told that let's exclude a staging layer. This is an overburden. Let's dump data directly in integration and apply all transformation logic and integration layer itself. He is telling that let's remove that staging layer and dump the data in integration and apply the logic there itself. Okay. And the purpose is this will save extra effort of creating a staging layer and will save project time, effort, and money as well. So his intentions are very good. He is thinking from time, effort, and money. This will be saved. That is correct. Intentions are good. Okay, but what's the problem? Which of the following is correct? Dumping data directly in integration layer might lead to processing bad data. Okay. Second, data must be cleansed before transforming or applying any logic. So we should load data first in staging and clean it. Third option, source team has confirmed the data is of good quality, so no need to dump in staging. Let's move direct in integration layer. Fourth option, Mohan has suggested a very good idea. This will help us to save money and increase ROI. Thus, our team will get good recognition. Fourth option is not correct. Although his intentions were correct, he has suggested an idea with the intention of saving money, effort, and increasing ROI. Okay, but that should not compromise the quality of the project. That should not compromise the process, right? So here he is compromising the process, and that will lead to some bad quality data. How we will see that? So fourth option is not correct. Third option, source team has confirmed the data is of good quality, so no need to dump. So very, very important point, guys. Always source will tell you that I am giving you golden source data. Data is of good quality, but you don't have to trust. As a tester, as a developer, it is a responsibility to apply checks at each and every layer. Because if something goes wrong in production, the business stakeholders will catch you that why this issue has came. And then you cannot tell that the source team has told that the data is of good quality, so we have assumed and we have not loaded data. Okay, it's not like that. You have to perform checks at each and every layer. Okay, so third option is not correct. Second option, data must be cleansed before transforming or applying any logic. So we should load data first in staging and clean it. This is the correct option. So before applying transformation logic, you have to clean the data. And for cleaning the data, you must load first of all in staging. Once the data is cleaned, then only you should apply the transformation logic. So second option is correct. First option is again not correct. You should not dump directly in integration layer. Is this clear? Any question on this? Anyone?
No questions.
Clear to everyone? Sure.
Sure.
Okay, let's move then. So guys, extraction part we have covered. Okay, so these things we have covered.
Like for last question, you said we have multiple answers, right?
Last question, you have multiple
Mohan
answers.
has suggested a developer. For that, you said like above question has a multiple correct answers.
Question number 5, you are telling the Mohan one?
Yes, yes.
Oh, correct. You are correct. So first and second option are correct here. Very good. Good catch. First and second options are correct because the first option is telling dumping data directly in integration layer might lead to processing bad data. So this statement is correct that you should not dump data directly in integration layer because that will lead to processing bad data. This statement is correct. So first and second options are correct. Very good. Good catch. Okay. Any confusion? Clear? Is this clear to everyone? Or you guys got confused?
Yeah, clear.
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 Okay. So we have discussed extraction part of ETL. In ETL, E part is over, and that is, believe me, that is more than enough for you guys. Okay. Whether you want to face an interview or you're working in live project. So I think you will not get any scenario apart from this. If you're getting or if you're working in a project, if you have any other scenario, we can discuss. Okay. Fine, perfect. So this was all about source files. Now let's move to the, I think we have discussed about the generations data warehouse. Again, I'm repeating. Okay, guys, the scenarios, the trends in IT industry is changing like anything. So don't only stick to ETL. ETL is like a door. It will give you an entry to the IT industry, but try to get some more exposure to other technologies as well. Cloud computing, unstructured data, and all those things which I mentioned earlier. Okay, fine.
Hello, Tanvir. I have a
Mhm.
question.
Yeah, sure, sure. Tell me.
So, if the source is like a file, and
What is the
we are
file?
dumping the data from and we are dumping the data from file to the table, right? So, how we are validating the uh, uh, the data between a file and a table? So, is it possible to write an SQL query or?
Okay, very good, very good. And this is again a very, very common interview question. The question, what, sorry, may I know your name, please?
Manikanta.
Sorry,
Manikanta. Manikanta.
Manikanta, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Manikanta has asked a question that Tanveer, if source I have some records and the same record I have loaded in staging. So you have mentioned that the count we have checked, count is same. That's what we have checked and all those things. So, but what about checking the validating the data? That's a good question. Okay, so there are multiple ways you can do that, and that's a real that's a possible scenarios that you have received 10 records in source file. Okay, and while loading data in staging, you have only 9 records. Okay, let's take the example of this one. So here, suppose I have 2 records in the source file. I have received 2 records, but when I loaded this data in staging, I got only 1 record. So suppose this is a staging and I have only 1 record in staging. Something happened, okay, and 1 record it was missed. So how I will catch this, right? I think this is the question you have asked.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, is the scenario clear or not? So the scenario is in source file, maybe you have received 2 records, okay, but in the staging layer, only 1 record has been loaded. So it means 1 record is missed. And if you're not comparing the data of this source file with the staging, so how you will come to know that the one record is dropped here, right? So okay, first of all, problem statement is clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yesterday or day before yesterday, we have discussed about the audit columns, and someone has pinged me the question. Okay, very good. So you have asked me the question that audit columns, how they are populated. Audit columns, again, you have the logic for this as well. Okay, you don't have to populate this manually. To populate the audit column, logics will be implemented in job. So job is like a heart of ETL. All the logics will be in job only. So to populate data in audit columns like inserted date, updated date, active flag, current indicators, and all those things. So there are logics in the job, but you have to validate that as well, that these audit columns are populating correctly or not. Okay. So now the next question, that I have received 2 records in source file, but in staging only 1 record has been loaded. 1 record is missed. So Tanvir, how I will catch this, that 1 record has been missed in source? because if you are loading, if you have only one record in staging, so same record will go in integration layer and then access layer and on report. So finally the business users will make noise that okay, one record is missing, right? So how to catch this? So to catch this, you have audit tables as well. I was just about to teach you this. It will come in the maybe in the next slides. So you have audit tables. Apart from audit column, you have an audit table. Now, what is audit table? Let's try to understand this. Okay. These are also known as log tables. So maybe in different projects, you will have different names, audit tables or log tables. So what are these audit tables and log tables? So this will give information about the load. These tables will give information about the load. Like, okay, this will tell that in source file, I'm showing you some sample. This will be having a column source file. Okay. So it will give you the file name, the source file name from where data has been loaded. I have shown you one example, I think. Here, suppose this is the source file I have received on one particular date. This is the name, right? So this, it will show you that, okay, from this source file, okay, source record, count of source record. Just I'm writing in simple way. Okay, count of source records. It means how many records are present in source file. So you have 2 records here. So this table will give you the 2 records were there. Okay. Then this will give information about batch ID. Batch ID means when you have run the job to load data from a source, from source to staging. So what was the batch ID? Maybe this you will get some big number 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Okay. Again, when you will run the batch next day, so again this will be incremented by 1. This will go on changing. Okay. Okay. Run date, when you have run this job. So suppose you have run this job on 9th of December. So it will give you that date. So when this job was run. Okay. Then records inserted. So how many records were inserted in a staging? So suppose only one record is inserted. This will give information, only one record inserted. Okay. Then records failed. How many records are failed here? Tell me how many records are failed? One record failed. It will give you one record failed. Okay. And then it will give you like job key. Maybe something like 2, 3 or something. Any number will be there. Suppose 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this table, so you have a log tables or audit tables, and this will be there in each and every ETL project. This is a very important table. So once you have run the job to load data from a source to a stage, then immediately you have to go into this log tables and you have to check that if there is rows failed, records failed or not. If there is any record failed, so you should know the reason for that. Now, how you will check the reason? That what is the reason, because of which reason this record was failed? You have another table, log table. They'll be having different names to that log table. You're having some other log table. This will give you summary, log table summary. Let me mention the name like this. This will give you the summary that why this record was rejected. Okay, this will be having like job key. So you have job key 3, 4, 5 here. So this 3, 4, 5 you have to search in this table. Okay. So this will be having a column error message. So now it will give you the reason why this record was rejected. There might be n number of reasons. Okay. So why this record was rejected? So you have to go into this log table summary table. So from this you can understand that okay, this particular record was rejected because of this reason, and accordingly you have to take some action. Maybe if you think that that is sometimes it is a valid rejection. What is a valid rejection? I will tell you. Suppose source team has sent this data, but they forget to give you this cost. Okay, so if cost is missing, so you cannot show this on report, and this is of no use for you. So in the coding or the jobs, you have applied a logic that if cost is missing, reject that data. So in error message, it will show you that cost column is missing. Okay, so now in this case, what you will do, you will raise a defect to developers or source team. To whom you will raise a defect?
The source team.
Source team.
Source team, correct. Very good. This is not a defect of developer, because developer has coded this correctly. That is why it has caught this, that if the cost is missing, the record was not loaded, and this is the expectation. Okay, so you have to call or you have to send a mail to the source team that okay, in the one record was rejected because you have sent the data and that cost was missing. So they will check it and again they will send you this file. Okay, So then again, you have to run the job. Okay, so by this way, you can identify if there is any drop in the records and you can find the reason for that. Is that clear? Manikanta, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So,
Hmm.
so we don't need to write any SQL query in between file and a table, right?
No, yeah, ideally you don't have to write a query, okay, because this log tables will give you the information if there is any drop. Okay. Now there is one more scenario. Okay, before going to that scenario, is this scenario clear or not? You understood the importance of audit tables, log tables, what informations it will
Yes.
give? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, guys, I'm
Yeah.
repeating. Any question, please
So,
stop me at any point of time. Yeah, tell me.
where log the where these log files, I mean these log tables resides?
Where this log tables resides? Sorry, what's the question? Can you repeat?
Is it in the staging layer or in the
It will be in the staging
any
layer.
other layer?
I will tell you. Okay, this log tables are getting populated after each and every job run. So once you're loading data from source to stage, there will be separate log tables in the staging schema. Then you will load data from stage to integration layer. Again, you have separate log tables for that run. Okay. Once you will load data from integration to access, then you'll be having separate log tables. So for each and every run, you have separate log tables. Okay. But in few projects, what they will do, they will maintain one log table. Okay. And they will add one more column that will be named as layers. Okay. They will mention it as a source to a stage. So you will understand that, okay, this record is when the data was loaded from source to stage. And if it is stage to integration layer, they will add one more column, one more record for the data load between stage and integration. Similarly, between integration layer and the access layer. So that depends from project to project. Okay, or maybe in some projects you'll be having a separate table for the load between stage and IL layer. Okay, is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Now you have one
Can
more.
we-
Yeah. Tell me.
Sorry,
Mhm.
one quick question. Like you said, like based on the source file, we will be running a job to move the data to the staging table. So
Mhm.
you said like we may get data both structured and unstructured. So the job which we run will differ accordingly based on the type of source data we receive.
Okay, you are talking about structured and unstructured. So I think unstructured I have not mentioned anywhere. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
To handle unstructured data, you have totally different landscape, totally different technology landscape. Okay. This all things what I'm teaching you, that is from a structured data perspective. Okay. But to handle unstructured data, you have those concepts of Hadoop, MapReduce, key value pair, BLOPS data types. Okay, Hive SQL, NoSQL, and Kafka will be there to import data and all those things. That is totally different landscape. So I'm not going into that. Okay, but if you're interested, you can connect with me. Okay, and we can discuss that. Fine.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure. You have that ELT which I mentioned yesterday, no? So that is used to handle those unstructured data, and then you have a Snowflake and database. So on that you can handle the unstructured data. But I cannot I cannot take those concepts here because we will get deviated from the topic. Okay, so I just want to keep this restricted. But if you're interested, please connect with me. We can discuss further on that. Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Perfect. Any other questions? Okay, if no question, if
Sir,
no,
if we
yeah.
suppose in the source file, profit is first line, first row it is 500, but in the staging table, sometimes it will populate as 700. Then now we are going to validate.
Perfect. I was just coming to this point only. Same thing I was coming. Okay. So now the question is, Tanvir, you have told that if any drop is there, so we can catch this from the log tables. That is fine. But what suppose here it is Delhi and this data is there. But what happens sometime by mistake, the data got truncated. Instead of Delhi, I got only DLH. Okay, and maybe your date time, something got truncated. It means overall the data is not exactly what was present in source file. So how I can validate this? Okay, so I think the same question you have asked. I was just coming to this point. So how to validate this? The data, okay, data has moved from a source to a stage, but it is not the exact data. So Tanvir, how I will validate this scenario? So to validate this scenario, what you can do is you have to there are two ways. Okay, there are two ways. I will tell you what are the ways. So you can do a file comparison utility. In Unix you have a file comparison utility. Through that you can compare two files. So what you have to do is, this source file is already present at the Unix server or Unix location, right? Now you have to connect your Oracle database or whatever database you are working from Unix. Okay, through ODBC connections, you can connect that. If you don't know how to do connections, you can connect with your developers, or maybe if you want, you can connect with me as well. I can tell you. So, but overall, you have the option to connect your Unix to that Oracle or whatever database you are working. Okay, connect to that, then write a query on this data, that select a star from restaurant underscore stage. Okay, and if you have some where condition, you can write where condition as well. So write a query. So data what you will get from this, store that in a file. So now you will be having second file, or you can tell database file. And here this is a source file. Okay, this is the source file. And then you have a utility Unix through which you can compare two files. You can use diff command. Okay, you can write source file, second file db. So if there is any difference, this will throw you message that okay, these are the differences. If there's no difference, it will not give you any difference message. So this is the way through which you can check it. Hope this is clear. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, first of all, we need to connect Unix to Oracle. After that, we are writing this query. Select star from restaurant underscore staging. After that,
so yeah, first step is connect Unix to database, whatever database you are working. Okay, so once that connection is made, you have to write the query on Unix server only. When you will write this query, then you have to direct the output of this in a source file. So whatever output, suppose if this is the output, this will be stored in this source file. You have to mention that, okay, in the Unix command. So this will be stored here. Now you have two files. One is this source file where you have this source data, and the second is this second file underscore db, the name which I have kept. So this will be having data of the staging table or staging layer where you have loaded the data. Now you should compare this source file and this file. Okay, if the comparison, if there is any mismatch, yeah, that will throw you that message that okay, these all are the mismatches. So from this you can find that if there is any mismatch in the data which has been loaded into the staging layer from source file. Okay,
yeah, clear.
clear? Any other questions? Very good. Fine. So anything else which I missed? Okay, fine. If nothing, so let's move. But very good. You guys are asking questions. Keep on asking questions. Okay. So sorry, I have a bad throat and I'm struggling. So sorry. So now you have MPP, that is massive parallel processing. Okay, let's park it for some time. I'll come to the slide after some time. Okay. Little bit about cloud data warehouse. So after extraction, I will move to transformation. But before moving to transformation, give you some overview of all this cloud and those things. I will not take much time, so just I will give you a flavor that what is happening. And guys, you should know all these concepts because like nowadays in each and every organization they are talking about cloud and all those things. So suppose in a meeting, if these conversations are going on with your managers and the leads, and if you don't have any idea about what cloud is happening or what the technology landscape is, so you will lose something there. So that's why even if you don't have that much technical expertise on any technology landscape, but you should know the flavors. Okay, so cloud data warehouse, it's improved access. Why it is improved access? The best thing about cloud is, so whenever you want to add more servers, okay, so you can increase that servers. Okay, like it happens during Diwali or any other festive seasons, so the load on the e-commerce site, it increases. So if they have everything on cloud, so they can rent some more infrastructure, some more servers. So that is the best part about cloud. You don't have to own everything. Okay, you don't have to own everything. I will give you a simple example. Okay, suppose in my family there is a marriage ceremony. Okay, so in a marriage ceremony, so I have to arrange more chairs, maybe 50 or 100 chairs. I have to arrange more utensils, and many other thing will be there. Okay, so for that, maybe generally in any house you have 4 to 6 chairs, or maximum I think 8 chairs or 10 chairs. But in a marriage, like, you have to manage more chairs, 50 or 100 chairs, because you're expecting more guests will be coming, right? So what you will do, you will go to the local tent house, okay, and you will tell them that I need this number of chairs, so please give me. So he will charge something like 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, something like that, and he will give you that. Okay, so exactly cloud is like this only. You don't have to bother about your infrastructure. You don't have to bother about the servers. Okay, so in this way, whenever you want 50 servers, you connect to that cloud. Maybe you have connected to Microsoft, okay, or Google Cloud Platform or Amazon. So you just have to contact them. They will give you those number of servers. You don't have to own them. You don't have to buy. You don't have to manage nothing. Okay, so they will provide you all the servers, all the database, okay, what all the info or what all infrastructure you want. Okay, and one more thing is there, you don't have to call them. They will give you freedom, so whenever you want, you can increase the servers, you can decrease the servers. So that's why access is improved in the cloud. Scalability is exactly the same thing what I have mentioned. Whenever you want, you can increase the number of servers. Whenever you want, you can decrease the number of servers. Okay, or any other thing, you want to increase the RAM size, you want to increase your SSD, so whatever you want, you can through cloud, you can increase or decrease that. Is this clear? Does this making sense, or you guys are not understanding?
Yeah, clear.
Everyone?
Yeah, yes.
So this is cloud, guys. So cloud is like a local tent house, which is giving you that, okay, don't bother about chairs, don't bother about pillows, cushions, blankets, and all those things. I'll provide everything to you. You don't have to manage it, nothing. If you want 10, I will give you 10. If you want 100, I will give you 100. Okay, so cloud is like this, exactly like this only. Okay. So scalability, whenever you want to increase it. If you want to decrease it, no issues. Access to real-time data from multiple sources. Okay, real-time data from multiple sources. I will give you a very simple example from a daily life. Okay, suppose you have a marriage ceremony in your house and you have a lot of videos and photos, and maybe suppose it is like 2 to 3 GBs, maybe. Okay, so do you think that 2 GB data you can share over WhatsApp or any other platform? No, it is not possible. Maybe you have to share on YouTube. So again, you don't want to share your public sorry, your private videos and photos on the YouTube. So what you will do? What you will do in that case? Who will answer?
So we post it in our Google Drive and share the path.
Perfect, very good. You will save that in your Google Drive, okay, or Apple iCloud, anywhere, right? And then you will share the link that, okay, this is the link, please open it, and you can save it. Now, next question. That's a very good answer. Your relatives or friends are staying in US and you are in India. So if you will share that, that will be accessible to them. Got my question? You are in India.
They can access.
They can access. So it means you can access any data from anywhere at any time. That's the flexibility of cloud. Okay. Next one, better analysis by data scientist. Why I'm telling better analysis by data scientists? There are two reasons. First is amount of data. For data scientists, they have to analyze huge volume of data. They have to slice and dice data. They have to drill down the data, homogeneous data, heterogeneous data, and they want very high processing speed and all those things. Okay. So this will help them. So they want to increase the RAM size, they can increase it, they can decrease it, and they don't have to bother about the data disk space and all those things. Okay, they can hire that. And the next thing is, if you want a RAM of 16 GB for 1 month, they will charge you for 1 month only. And whenever you are using, they will charge for that period only. Okay, so it is like PAUG, pay as you go, PAYG, pay as you go. You don't have to bother about that. Less expensive. This is not that much expensive. Why I'm telling that this is less expensive? What is the reason? Apply your thoughts. Don't bother that you are giving right answer or wrong answer. Just apply your thoughts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because
No
we don't.
resources are required to maintain the servers
Perfect.
from
I
companies.
don't. Very good. Very good. First of all, I don't have to buy infrastructure. Suppose I am going to set up a company. So I have to buy a lot of infrastructure, data centers, servers, and all those things. Here, I don't have to buy anything. Okay. First thing. Second thing, no maintenance. You don't have to bother about maintenance and all those things. Many a times it has happened, and that's a big, very big overburden for most of the organizations. The servers, what they are not using or rarely they are using, they have to manage it. They have to maintain it. So just that's just a wastage of money, no? Okay. So that's why this is less expensive. Better performance than traditional on-premise data warehouse. So of course, the performance is better than a traditional on-premise data warehouse, like if you're working on Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server and all those things. So this will give you better performance. Auto upgrades, I think this is very much clear to you. So guys, this is just a very high level understanding I thought of sharing with you guys. So what is cloud? You should get an, at least you should know if somewhere someone is discussing, you should have an idea and you should contribute. Any question on this 6 to 7 points? Anything which you want to add or any other clarification? If you have, please tell me. No questions. Okay, how many of you have heard recently there was a vulnerability in one of the cloud service provider? Anyone who has heard about that? Have you heard about Microsoft Azure? There was some hackers, they have hacked it. Anyone? No one. Okay, so I will tell you. Recently, I think 2 to 3 months before, there were some researchers at the Wiz company, Wiz organization. They have hacked the Microsoft Azure database. Okay. Sometimes what happens now is some of the organizations, so purposely or intentionally, they will hire some hackers and they will give them this task that, okay, try to hack my technology or my system or my app or whatever it may be. Okay, system. So they want to make that how much foolproof or their system is. So with researchers, they have hacked it. What they have done, they got access to the database. They got the primary keys of most of the organizations whose database or whose data was stored in that cloud. Okay, and they were able to update, modify data and all those things. But finally, they were not like professional hackers. They told to the Microsoft team that there is a loophole in your system, and because of this data is getting compromised. Okay, and they have Microsoft team, they have accepted that, yeah, that is correct, you have found it out, and they have given some rewards or some like what I can say, some money as well. So if you don't know this, so go through, search this in Google. So you should know this all things which is happening around you. Okay, so security is still a concern in cloud landscape. Any question, guys? No question. Moving next slide. Again, this is about cloud, scalability, reliability, flexibility, security. Okay, these all are the things which you can get from cloud. You don't have to bother. I think I have discussed all these points. This is a cloud where all your files and everything is there. Just you need a system and internet connection. That's all. You can access all the data which is present here. You don't have to bother about servers, the disk space, and all those things. Okay. Fine. The next thing is cloud vendors. These are the very famous cloud vendors, but this is not limited to this only. You have you have some other cloud vendors as well. Google, Amazon, Microsoft Azure, Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery. So these are all some of the famous Google cloud service providers. Okay, now coming to challenges. Now coming back to our main ETL. Okay, so I think I have taken 10 to 15 minutes and I have given you some overview about the cloud. Hope you have understood and you hope you have found something useful. Okay, so let me know your feedback. Okay, how was that? So that I will continue sharing some more information about all these things, about the latest technology, what is happening all around. Okay, now the challenges in ETL testing. Okay, so ETL testing, really a lot of challenges are there with the data. Believe me, once I was working in a project, okay, and that was kept on a hold for a period of 1 year. I'm not sure you will trust or not. but that was kept on a hold for a period of 1 year. And the reason was we were not getting good quality of data. Okay, so that is one of the reason. So good quality of data is a big challenge in ETL, and you should know how to validate. That's why I have given more stress on the extraction part. Okay, that you should, while extracting the data, while getting the data in the source file, you should do all those validations. Those are very important validations. Now, what are the challenges? ETL testing is a bit complex as it required a data-centric approach. ETL testing or ETL project or ETL technology is nothing but data, data, and data only. Data is a new gold these days. Data is like a new gold these days. Okay, so if you have good quality of data, you can get some good information, and from that you can do some research, and that will help your business. Okay, so it's a bit complex because data centric approach. You should know how to deal with the data. You should know how to slice and dice the data. You should know how to get some good information from the data. Large volumes of data, millions of records are very common in any organization. So you are going to handle large volume of data. Now in the Excel, I'm just showing you 2, 3, 4 records, but in the real life, in the real world, real project, no, when you will work, you have to handle large volume of data. I myself have handled close to 1.2 billion records, 1.3 billion records. Okay, but again, that is common. So you should know that how to handle, how to manipulate, how to analyze if there is any issue. So you have to find where is the issue in those billions of records. Okay, heterogeneous data sources. Yeah. So I have told you, I have given you example that you're getting data from multiple source file. Okay, but it is not like that. Sometime what happens, you have 10 sources. Two sources will tell you that I will send data in .dat format. Two sources will tell you I will send you data in XML format. And the remaining two will tell you I will send you an XML format. The other two will tell you that I will send you data in some server database. So, okay, you can get data in multiple sources, and then you have to validate all those sources. Then you have to extract data from all those sources, and you have to land data in the staging layer. Okay, so you should know that how to handle those data. You should apply your validation checks, but the checks what I have told you, that will be same. Okay, whether you're getting data from XML or any other sources. So data source can be anything. It will change, it will vary. It means there can be n number of sources. Okay. Transformation testing needs expertise in writing complex SQL queries. Yeah, whenever you're going to check transformation logics, we will discuss that in the transformation layer. So that needs good expertise in SQL. I have mentioned this earlier as well. If you are working in ETL, if you're planning to work in ETL, so one thing is SQL, you should be smart in SQL. Okay, this is like a bread and butter. If you're not good in SQL, please go and start working on this. Do some hands-on. Just don't go through the commands only. That okay, I know select from, where, distinct, union, all, rank, dense rank, what it does, I know SQL. No, you have to do hands-on on that. Okay. Test data generation. This is again very important, and from interview perspective as well. They will ask you from interview perspective that have you generated test data or not. Test data generation. What is this? Who will tell me? Anyone who has generated test data, you know what is test data generation?
Nothing but negative scenario. We will add the data sometime.
Perfect. This is like a negative scenario. Okay, like here. Suppose in this file the cost is present. Okay, cost is not missing here. This is correct. But you want to test a scenario where the cost is missing. So what you will do? You will generate a source file by yourself, and you will add a record purposely or intentionally. Okay, where you will remove this data. Okay, so this new data you have generated, you have created. And why you have created? Because you want to check that the job is handling this scenario or not. Because as we have discussed now, if the cost is missing, then ideally this record should be dropped. This should be failed, right? So sometimes intentionally you have to prepare the data to test some scenarios. and that might be negative or positive, anything. Okay, so you should know how to generate that test data. Okay, is this clear? This is about test data generation. I will give you one more example. Suppose if you have to check, you have to test Make My Trip. I think you all know about Make My Trip. That is a platform where you can book tickets, right? I think you all have used that. So if you have to test Make My Trip application, then there are a lot of combinations like source and destination. If you are given source and destination both same, what is the expectation? What should happen?
It should throw an error message that source and destination cannot be same.
Very good. It should throw an error message that source and destination cannot be same. So you should generate this data that, okay, I should test with this as well, the source and destination. If I'm giving same source and same destination, so how the system is behaving. Okay, it should not proceed with that. It should not show you the flights, right? So that's a defect. Similarly, if you have opted for return journey as well, then return date must be greater than that departure date, right? So these are the other test data which sometimes you have to prepare. Okay, and then you have to test the scenarios. Maybe it can be positive or negative. So that is about test data generation. There's a very common and very good tool that was developed by NIST USA and known as ACTS tool. I don't know if you have worked, if you know that tool, but that's a very good tool for generating test data. ACTS, Automated Combinatorial Testing Software. I have worked on that tool. That's a very good tool, open source tool that can generate test data. So many organizations, they are working on that. Okay. So these are few of the challenges in ETL testing. So this is again asked in the ETL interviews that what all the challenges which you have faced, okay, as an ETL tester. So you can tell that we are getting data from multiple sources, so validations and the data quality sometimes is not good. So we have to apply checks at each and every layer, each and every level. The transformation logic, sometimes it is very complicated, it takes time. Okay, so these things you should know. Okay, so any question on these slides, guys, from challenges in ETL testing perspective? Anything? No? Okay. Now, these are few of the ETL tools. I don't want to go in detail with this. Okay. So talent, like if you're working on unstructured data, big data and all those things. So this is nowadays, this is like anything. Many projects, many organizations, they are working on this. They're using this. Okay. These are a few of the common. I think Power Center from Informatica. This is again very common and very useful and powerful ETL tool. Okay. And others are there as well. Okay. Advantage of ETL tools. Okay, these are a few of the advantages: comprehensive automation and ease of use. Okay, because ETL tools, they'll automate. If you have worked on Informatica, no, so that will automate everything. That will move data from source to target. Most of the tasks can be automated. So your intervention will be there. You have to write code as well, but many features what they have given is like you just have to drag and drop, and that will do the task for you. User friendly drag and drop interface, what I mentioned you. So this is user, but that is not that much user friendly to work on the ETL tools. So you should be having the technical expertise. Okay, support for complex data management, security and compliance. Yeah, I think these are like simple words. You should know this. So you should know about this ETL tools. Maybe they can ask questions, what are the common ETL tools on which you have worked? Okay, and what are the advantages of the ETL tools? So fine, guys. So I will start again. So again, we will enter the technical aspects from tomorrow into all those things. Okay, and after this, I will start the transformation layer. Transformation layer is very important. We will discuss about different transformation logics, some of the common transformation logics like SCDs, soft delete, and some others. Can we'll discuss that. Any other question? Any thought? Any feedback?
Hi, Tanvir.
Yeah, hi.
If you get the source file from FAT file or like some other files actually in other format, normally how we can extract into a staging layer actually by coding or by running a job or what?
Correct. See, data you are getting in whatever format. Okay, format means in flat file or .csv, .dat or whatever .txt, whatever it is there. Okay. Ideally, if you're working from testing perspective, you don't have to bother that how data is getting loaded from source to stage. Okay, you only have to run the job, and that job will load data, that must load data from source to stage. Okay, now inside that job, what is happening, on which language you have written, what is that programming code. So so you can write those codes in Unix, you can write those codes in Python. Okay, you have loaders that will load data from the source file to the staging. So as a tester, you have to test that the data is getting loaded correctly, all the data is getting loaded or not. You have to check the audit tables, it is getting populated correctly or not. If there is any failure, the records which are failed, it should be captured in the log tables. So these are the things which you have to validate. But the job, if you want to check what is happening inside a job, you can open a job, take the access from the developers. Okay, open a job. Okay, and then you can see each and every step what they have mentioned. So a lot of codes, a lot of transformation logics will be there. If you're interested, and I think you should know. Okay, it's not like that if you're interested you should do black box testing. No, you should know exactly what is happening, because nowadays it is the expectation that if any issue is there, the testers, they should do the root cause analysis, they should find exactly where in the code the issue is. Okay, so that's something which you don't have to bother.
Okay.
Any other question?
One quick question, Tanvir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in real time black box testing, we used to have different environments like testing environment, development environment, similar to that. Whether in ETL also we will have similar to that, or
Exactly
like
similar. Exactly similar. I think last week I have mentioned about different environments. You have dev environments, sit environment, UAT environment, EBF and prod. Okay. So it's exactly same. Okay. In the dev environment, the developers, they will do their testing. You don't have to bother in this. Sit is the tested environment. Okay. You want to do black box testing, you want to do white box testing, whatever you want, you are free to do testing in sit. Okay. And that is very good if you're doing white box testing. Okay, you are checking each and every code, you're checking each and every loop, you're checking each and every conditional statement, but you have to take care of the time as well, timelines as well. Okay, so in sit you can do any testing whatever you want. Then once you give the sign off from sit that okay, I have tested, everything looks good, then the code will be moved to UAT, and then the UAT, generally the business users, they will do the testing. Okay, but sometime it is expected that the tester who has tested in sit, they should do testing in UAT as well. Okay, because you have to check that all the codes, all the objects, all the components, all the tables have moved here or not, transformation logic is running here as well or not. Because I mentioned earlier as well, sometimes it happens that by moving the code from sit to UAT, some of the codes will be dropped. Okay, some will not be deployed, so that's why you have to test everything again from scratch in UAT. Some of the testers, they think that okay, I have tested everything in sit, then why should I test everything in UAT? No, you should test everything ideally in UAT as well. Okay, but UAT is ideally meant for the business users. They will check their business numbers, the functional numbers in UAT. Okay, but if it is the responsibility of your tester that you have to test in UAT as well, then you have to write, you have to execute the same test cases what you executed in sit, everything you have to test. After UAT, you have EBF, that is performance layer, where we used to check the performance testing of the application, and then you have production. Finally, you will deploy the code in production. Is that clear? Hope I answered the question.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. Any feedback, guys? Yeah.
Hey, hi, Tanvir.
Hi,
I
hi.
have a question.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So in the previous example, we intentionally remove the data value in the cost column from the source file, and we are running the job. And the condition would be like the job should fail, right? So in the source file, we have like 10 to 15 columns. So do we really need to check all the column data values to verify the job? Is it working fine or not?
Can you come again? I think your voice was breaking. Can you please repeat?
Hello. Is it clear now?
Is it clear? Yeah, it's clear.
So yeah, in the previous example, we intentionally remove one of the value in the cost column, right?
Cost column, yeah.
And we ran, yeah, we ran a job and the expectation would be the job should fail.
It was failed, yeah, correct.
So if the source file has 10 to 20
Okay,
columns,
okay, okay. Very good, very good.
so how can we see?
Correct. Very good. So very good question. Manikanta has asked a question that Tanvir, this is fine. Here you have only 5 columns, and so you have intentionally removed a column, data in a column, and you are checking, and the expectation is that the job should fail. Sorry, job will not fail. That this record will be dropped, right? Because it was agreed that the cost column, if the data is not there, then that record will be dropped, and you have caught that in this log table, right, Manikanta? Uh, but the question is, if you have 10 columns, 20 columns, 50 columns, then is it like you're going to check each and every column by removing the data? Is this the question, Manikanta? Hello, is this the question?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, fine. Very good. Very realistic question, that if you have 20 columns or more than that, how you will check? Are you going to remove data in each and every column? And if you're doing that, that will take a lot of time, of course. See, how we can test this is, okay. First of all, you have to discuss, or you have to understand that which all columns are having business significance. Okay, means if the data, if that value is not there, so that will create a problem. So you have to discuss this with the business. Okay, if the business is telling that cost and profit, if you're not getting data in these 2 columns, cost and profit, if you're not getting data in these 2 columns, reject that particular record from source file. Don't accept it. So in this case, you don't have to check for each and every column. Just check profit and cost. Remove data in this. Okay, so you have to discuss this with the business before, and they will tell you that which column is having business significance, and if that is not present, that should be dropped. Okay, now suppose here 600 or whatever it may be, 200 is present in profit and cost. This restaurant Delhi is missing. Okay, is this record should be dropped, failed, rejected? Yes or no? Hello?
Yeah, should be
Yes, I
dropped.
think so.
It should be dropped.
Yeah.
No, it should not be dropped. Why? Because already business analysts or the business stakeholders, they have told me that I am bothered about profit and cost. If this
Okay.
data is not there, then only reject the record. So it means if value is present in this profit and cost, and if it is missing in any other column, then this record should be failed or not.
It won't fail.
It should not fail. If restaurant column Delhi is missing here, this record should be failed.
No.
No, this should not be failed because this is not of that much importance for me. Or I will understand that, okay, this source file was sent by Delhi manager. So by mistake, Delhi is missing here. So we'll understand that, okay, we have to add Delhi here. Okay, so that is not of that much importance to me. Is this clear? So that will be well agreed before, that what all columns, if value is missing, so it should fail. Okay, it is not like we or the developers or anyone has to assume it. These all things has to be well agreed, and you have to test only those columns. Is this clear, guys?
Yeah, clear.
One more scenario is there. Sometime if you're getting profit as minus 600 or whatever it may be, sometime, okay. So again, if it is minus 700, so minus 700, this is like a loss. Okay, so you have to discuss this as well, that what if I'm getting negative number in profit? Okay, so maybe if the business will tell that, okay, that is fine, no issue. Or if they will tell that, okay, if you're getting negative number in my profit column, so that's an issue, reject that record. Okay, so what will happen if it is minus 800? So what should happen here? What you will do if it is minus 800? We will accept this record or reject this record? Hello?
Accept that record.
No, you will not accept it because
No, it's rejected.
yeah, rejected because it has been agreed with business. They have told you that if you're getting negative number in profit column, then you have to reject that record. So if it is minus 800, this record must be rejected. Okay. So like that, so these all things are well agreed with the business stakeholders, and these all things are mentioned in the FRD or technical specification. Okay, all these things will be there. Okay, any other questions? Anyone? Okay. Yeah.
What is Tanvir? So earlier we discussed about the audit columns. So is that any? I think is there any relation between CDC and the audit columns?
CDC. What is
Yeah,
CDC?
change data capture.
Oh,
Change
change.
data capture.
That is same. That is one and the same. That's what I told you. In some project, they will tell you audit tables, some tables it will log tables, and you have metadata as well. Okay, so metadata is little bit different. That we will discuss after some time. That is different. That is data about data. That is little bit different. Okay, but audit tables, log tables, and maybe in your project you have some other name. So, but you will get these are some common columns you will get there. Okay, and so this is just to understand that once you have run the job, so how many records has been inserted, failed, what is the batch ID, when it was a run, and all these things. Okay. Any other question, guys? Okay, any feedback? Okay, if no, it's fine. We are good to close today. So please revise, keep on revising these concepts. Okay, and if any question, if you have, or if any other scenario you have faced in your project, you can connect with me. Okay, so fine. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.